If you struggle with focus, then I made this video for you. In fact, I actually made the thing that I'm about to teach you, I made it for you because I 100% struggle with focus. Struggled, past tense. I mean, I still do, but it's the frameworks that I now teach that allow me to actually have this, I guess, channeling of my attention and intention as opposed to what previously used to just be scattered as hell and a lot of winging it, if you can relate. Now, what's super interesting is, and I'm not sure if you do relate to this, I would see these memes or these reels talk about ADHD and this scattered attention and all of these particular symptoms or habits, and I'm like, oh man, I kind of relate to everything they're saying, but I don't identify. I mean, I've never been checked with having all those issues or needing to be medicated or anything along those lines. And what has been my medication, at least up to this point, is building in systems and frameworks. And so what I'm going to teach you today is called Assets. It is a monthly framework that I teach people on how to be able to dial in their focus, say no to a bunch of shit that doesn't matter, say yes to the things that do, so that you can literally month on month on month build the habits and values and beliefs and systems and culture that you need to be able to live the life that you want to live. Now, there's another part to this called a 5-star review, which I'm going to do in another video, but I'm actually going to give you the 15-minute video. This is about an 18-minute video because of a little intro. The 15-minute video that I put in my community, which is called the BossFit Flow community. If you're interested, it's $50 a week. There should be details somewhere along here, link in the description or wherever. You can check it out. And I go through heaps of this sort of stuff, but I actually run through the BossFit 30 every single month, which is taking people through these frameworks and helping them build these beliefs, values, systems, and culture in the areas of body, mind, food, and time, month on month on month on month. So they're building generational health and they can learn how to really perform at their peak and live life in flow. So if you're interested, check it out somewhere. Otherwise, simply stay tuned and I'll do as much as I can to give you all of these assets and frameworks and values as best I can. But either way, you're going to jump on a Zoom call with me now, and I hope you enjoy it. Hey fam, so this is a quick video on how to build out an asset for the month. I'm going to talk you through it. You should be able to find the worksheet for this somewhere here on school. If not, just reach out and we'll make sure you got the worksheet. It's a really simple worksheet. What's really important though is that this does work a lot better after you've done your dent goals. So if you haven't done your dent goals yet for the year at least, then you definitely want to make sure you put 90 minutes aside and just plan out the rest of the year for yourself. That's going to help you define your asset for the month significantly easier. So if you haven't done that yet, start there and then come back to this video and follow through with what I'm about to talk through now. So I've spent the last sort of couple of months going through and really building out different frameworks to be able to teach and to be able to make things simpler and more concise. One of the ones was looking at the BossFit 30 and how we use the BossFit 30 as building blocks for anything from generational health to performance to career, whatever the case might be in whatever category for you. But how do we simplify these frameworks to be able to get more out of it? And what I've gone and done is put together two frameworks for the BossFit 30. One is called Assets, and it's an acronym of how we work through defining what our asset is for that month, and that's what we're going to go through tonight. The other one, which I'm going to go through next week, is called a 5-star review. And the 5-star review is our weekly touch points that we're actually reviewing the asset that we decided to build on. We're reviewing that as we go through. So we've got the assets and the 5-star review, and that works as basically a VCOL, so a virtuous cycle of learning that allows us to set direction and then continually just assess it as we go along to see if it's still important for us. If we need to, I call it an audit and edit. We're going to audit it and see if anything needs to change, and if anything needs to change, we're going to edit it. So we look at our assets and our 5-star review, and with that, we do an audit and edit. So let's get to it. I'm going to share my screen, and this is where did it go? It says BossFit 30 worksheet. That'll do. I'm going to share my, cool. So this here, you'll see there's a couple of things. You should be able to edit this online on your computer or print it off. I would suggest to print it off. I think print it off and writing there I prefer that anyway. But the other thing is, and this is another exercise, is to do this in an actual book by itself. and then transfer your answers over to this and print it off and then transfer it over. I usually do that whenever I've got either my Dent goals or similar. I workshop it on a whiteboard, and then I then transfer it by hand onto a worksheet, and I'll put that up. So first things first, it says, just quickly, I'll run through it and then I'll come back. We've got assess the boss fit matrix. I'll talk to that in a sec, which I was about to start with. But then we've got aim, significance, starting, ending, training, and score, which is assets. And keep in mind, our assets, like I spoke about in my TED Talk, an asset is a value, belief, a behavior, a system, or a culture that you're consciously building based upon your goals and where you want to go. Hence why this is so important to build out as an asset. So first things first, if you haven't already done your Boss Fit Matrix score or your health generational score, it's the same thing, generational health score, go do that, and it's going to give you a bit of an indication in the areas here of where you are. It'll either give you a score or you can put base flow peak, but it'll basically give yourself an idea of where you score within these 4 categories. Over the coming months, I'm going to develop a significantly more detailed version of the Boss Fit Matrix, the generational health score. And that means that people within the Boss Fit Flow community will be able to answer somewhere between 60 to 80 questions, probably closer to 80 questions, and give them a significantly more detailed response on where they exist within these 4 categories. So that's one, go get that, put your score there, and then let's go through here. Now, what I commonly do when we run through something like this is that I encourage people to brainstorm, and I'm talking like 3 minutes. You want to write 3 minutes, and then if you spend too long, you end up sort of spending too much time there. Like, this should be stuff that you get better and better and better at, and just being able to go, I'm going to give myself a few minutes here, write things down, and keep going. The problem is, if people think, oh, only 3 minutes for goals, but they only set goals once a year, then yeah, that makes sense. You're going to miss a lot of stuff. But if you're continually adapting and adjusting as you're going through, it's just small, short review that you want to do that you get better at. So let's have a look at this. Number 1, aim. What is your one outcome for this month? And don't worry about the categories. Don't worry about that kind of stuff. Just think, if I was to achieve one thing this month and that's it, I was to achieve one thing and that would make everything else either achieved and completed or make everything else redundant, what would that one thing be? So this is a bit more of a micro compared to your macro with your Dent goals or a 5-year vision. But with your aim, what is the one thing that if you were to achieve would either make everything else completed or everything else redundant? And what I'd offer you here, pause the video, give yourself 3 minutes to brainstorm, and then from there you want to pull one thing, just one outcome. That's it. And sometimes you're kind of chunking up to an outcome, but you want to be able to choose one particular outcome. Excuse me. So moving on from that. So once you have your outcome, it needs to feel right. It needs to be like, yeah, I can see that. It needs to be important to you, but this is where we start to build meaning. We actually add significance. So why is this important to you? Why is this meaningful for you? Why is it significant for you? And so the importance here of being able to put in your, I guess, the value behind achieving that outcome, because so many people go, yeah, that sounds good. I would like to achieve that. That sounds like something important, but they never really actually attach real significance to it. In fact, sometimes their unconscious drives have significantly more significance to not achieving their goal, right? And what that means is that they consciously want this goal, but unconsciously, if they were to, they have this thought, if they were to achieve that, then they wouldn't be accepted by their current family, or they would be seen as being greedy, or they would have some other thing that would basically carry more weight in staying the same. There's more significance in staying the same than there is in changing. So you got to look at this outcome and go, why is this significant to me? What would it mean to achieve this? What would it mean for me? What would it mean for my future? What would it mean for my family members? What would it mean for my clients? Like, what would it mean? Like, why is this so important? And it has to be emotional. It has to have emotion in there. So that's crucial. So we've got an aim, we've got an outcome. Now we've got some significance. And then we've got to go to the next point, which is, what's your current reality? What's your starting point? And this is mind, body, community, and systems. It's actually the 4 quadrants, which is your internal world, your community, so the we space, relationships. You've also then got your body and behavior, and then you've got systems and environment. So you've got to look at that and go, okay, well, what is my current reality in my mind? Like, what am I thinking? What do I believe about this? Now I've got a line here, but this is why it's so important to be able to brainstorm your own stuff as well. This is simply just one worksheet. And you want to think about, what is my current reality? And I'll jump ahead. I'll tell you why this is really important, because when you look at your outcome and you look at your current reality, I'm like, are you going to get your outcome with your current reality? Are you going to get your outcome with your current fucking reality? Like, that's the key. Like, if I could just give you one thing and then go, that was a video, that was it. So you need to be here and be honest with yourself. Like, what is my current mental state? What am I currently thinking? What do I currently believe? What do I currently value? Then you go to your body. It's like, what are my behaviors? What are my habits? How am I breathing? Like, all of these get into your body and go, what am I? And you got to think behaviors with body and habits. What's my current reality when it comes to my body and my behavior, my food, my nutrition? Then look at your community. Like, who are you spending your time with? Are these the right people, right? Don't worry about changing anything. This is the honest current reality. But you got to be thinking, who am I currently spending my time with? Who is currently in my corner? And whose corner am I currently in? And then systems. So what are the systems? What's the environment? What does that look like? Do you have any systems in place? Do you have a clear procedure, a clear process? Do you have these frameworks? This is a framework, right? And then we've got to look at that and go, right, well, let's go back to your outcome. And given your outcome, what is the desired reality? Like, what are you thinking? What do you value? What do you believe in your desired reality in a month's time? What do you actually believe? What about your body? How do you stand? How do you breathe? What are your behaviors? What are your habits? Like, in order to be the person that owns your outcome, that owns your desired reality, how are you thinking? How are you breathing? How are you standing? What are your habits? Who are you around? So what's the community? What's the common unity? Because if you look at your goals and look at the people you're currently spending time with, are they the right people to be able to drive you towards your goals? And then from there, you got systems, and systems is, what are the procedures and processes and technology and environment that's going to support me shifting into this desired reality, and to not just shift it, but to own it. So starting, ending, you need to be able to look at that and go, right, well, now we're going to what's the gap. So you've got your starting, you've got your ending, your training plan, and your leverage for change is actually your gap. And what your gap means is, given my current reality, given my desired reality, what do I need to do pretty much every single day to be able to move from current to desired? Now, this should be like, I would prefer people to chunk to like 1 or 2 things max. That is it. Like, if you were to do 1 thing a day or 2 things a day, sometimes people go, I'm going to do 4 things. I'm going to do a move thing. I'm going to do a mind thing. I'm going to do a mouth thing. I'm going to do a method thing, right? Body, self, food, time, move, mind, mouth, method, same thing. That's fine. What we are mostly looking for here is, what is your leverage for change? Giving you one outcome in 30 days, what is your leverage for change here? And what is it that you can do every single day? And maybe I would suggest a practice that needs to be some sort of physical thing. And a practice can still be like a meditation. It's like, well, it's not physical. It's like, no, but it's an actual habit that we're looking at. And usually you'll find that our training plan, when we chunk up, it's a combination of move, my mouth, or method. So it usually has a system with a behavior, with a mindset. So really, what are the 1 or 2 things in your training plan that are going to be your leverage, your high lever for change activities? What are they? You got to brainstorm and then look at it and literally future pace it, which means jump in and think, okay, as I go down this path, what will that look like? And then your score is, how will you score this? And so, how will you score whether or not you did your thing? Really simple, because you want to get a score out of 30. And in the BossFit download, the playbook, you'll be able to see all your scores there. You'd be like, your idea here is you're tracking it so you can build month on month on month and stack these assets, right? These values, beliefs, behaviors, systems, and culture, so that in 12 months' time, you're so far ahead because you've built, and now you own. You're not just loaning, you're not just relying on someone telling you what to do, but you own these habits,
values, beliefs. You've upgraded this deliberately and you've done the work. So how are you going to measure this? How are you going to score it? That you can simply just go, get that out of my way. You can simply just go, did I do it or did I not do it? Like that's how you score it. And then you want to put the categories. What categories does it cover? Is it move and mouth? So it's a nutritional outcome, or is it move and mind, or is it method and mind, or whatever the case might be, right? What are the category or categories that it fits in? And that's your assets, crew. You go, what's my one outcome? Why is that important to me? Where am I starting from? Where am I ending? And then what's my training plan that I need to do it daily? This should be a daily thing. If it's worth doing, do it fucking daily. And then how am I going to score that? How do I know whether I did that or not? How do I know it was successful? Well, successful is a different conversation, but how do I know whether I did that or not? That's your assets. As simple as that. Stop sharing. So this becomes crucial because now we've got to be able to go, okay, what are my DENT goals? As in, what's my theme for the year? What are my 90-day checkpoints? And what's my perfect repeatable week? And then what is a daily default? How do I need to show up every single day? Or what are my daily do's? What I need to tick off every single day, which feeds into this because now we're going to look at, great, given that year concept, what's my monthly deliverables? What are my assets that I'm building? And then how do I know to measure that every single day? And we now have this system that is fundamentally going to help you gain clarity, traction, and focus on what is actually most important to you. And better yet, as you go along, you can adjust it to make sure that it's actually relevant and important to you, which is where the 5-star review comes in. I'm going to post that video later on. I hope this was useful. Let me know. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll talk to you soon.